Hey guys, this is Camfrey15 back talking on Camfrey15 Talk Sports with my Uncle Darrell, and we're back to discuss the next round of the playoffs as well as the past round, the divisional round, which, let's be honest, that probably is going to go down as one of the best playoff rounds in NFL history because all of the games were really freaking good and nothing much disappointed me. But we have exciting matchups coming into this upcoming Sunday. But yeah, let's start off with the first divisional round game, and that is the Cincinnati Bengals, which I called pulling off the upset, beating the Tennessee Titans, the number one seeded Tennessee Titans, 19-16. Now this game was old grind me, fash it out type of game. It was a defensive battle, to be honest, with the offense is barely doing little, but I knew. The reason why I took Cincinnati is because I just had a belief that Joe Burrow could get it done, and that guy, he's great. He's great.
Yeah, he's pretty good.
Overcame getting sacked 9 times, and trust us, as Bear fans, we know what it's like to have an opposing team sack our quarterback 9 times.
Yes.
Which still, after I saw that, it made me even more pissed off at the fact why didn't we fire Matt Nagy after week 3 then? This guy still gets sacked 9 times with bad offensive line, and he still finds a way to win. But we lose? Oh, okay. But anyways, despite that, the offense for the Cincinnati Bengals wasn't the best, didn't have its best performance like it did in the first playoff game, but they still found ways to get into the red zone and found ways to score. And on the defense, they started the game off hot. They pick off Ryan Tannehill first play, and I was watching this and I saw this. I was like, already we're getting an interception, and this is what I said in my prediction. I feel like Ryan Tannehill with how the Titans are obviously constructed, they're a great team. The only problem is the question mark at quarterback. And Ryan Tannehill chose his worst game of the season to just play terrible. He not only had one, he had two, he had 3 picks, and his third pick proved to be the most costly one because it set up the Bengals um, getting the game-winning field goal, and it let the freaking it let the freaking Tennessee Titans down. Derrick Henry, I thought for the most part played, I think, a solid game. He could have done more, yeah, but I don't blame him. He's coming off injury. Um, it really truly comes down to the quarterback play, really, for the Tennessee Titans, because the defense, you hold the team, an opposing team, a pretty high point offense to 19 points. If your offense, your quarterback can put up more points on the board, well, you should win that game fairly easily. But that's
Well, I was gonna say, man, typically in these games, when these games are close like this, you always go with who got the best quarterback. And Joe Burrow and his defense. What I love about what the Bengals defense did, just like with any other really good strategy, you take away exactly what the other team does best. And what the Titans do best is run the football. So yeah, they saw a lot of 8-man fronts, 9-man fronts. They mixed it up on defense. They threw a lot of different coverages at Ryan Tannehill because they knew ultimately, hey, y'all got a quarterback. He all right, but my guy is 10 times better. And all we got to do is give him a chance. And look what happened. Ryan Tannehill, he should have never threw that pass. He
wasn't that like a
that
double
was
coverage
just a
pass?
hard. It was triple coverage. I thought I saw. He just
Mhm.
and then on top of that, he didn't throw it to his best wide receiver. He threw it through. It was like the guy that was probably third on the depth chart. I mean, if your guy that's third on the depth chart is in coverage with 3 other people, where do you think Brown and Jones is at? I mean, he should have never threw that throw. That loss is squarely on Ryan Tannehill.
Yeah.
And Derrick Henry, again, it was the first game back from his injury. He hadn't played in like 8, 9, 10 weeks. What did you expect the guy to do? You didn't expect the guy to be Derrick Henry. The thing about it, the best thing for the Titans would probably was just to go to the wild card game to get Henry fresh to prepare for a team like the Bengals. But That's why they play them, man. And always you gotta go with the team with the better quarterback. I think I went with the Titans. I think.
Yeah,
Did I
you
go
went with the Titans, I believe.
Yeah, I should have thought about that. That you know what, Burrow is damn good. I mean, I
Mhm.
gotta admit that guy is damn good.
Yeah,
You know, yeah. But
yeah.
anyway, uh,
Um,
the better quarterback won.
yeah, yeah. At the end of the day, Tennessee, that's what you get for locking up an average quarterback in Ryan Tannehill now.
4 years too.
Now, I don't know if they're going to do some trickery and some foolery or something like that and find a way to get obviously what I would envision potentially the two best quarterbacks on the market, and that's Russell Wilson or Aaron Rodgers. They obviously got to trade for them, but if
Yeah,
I just feel like if they want to take the next step, either they wait a year or two and wait for another great QB draft class, and maybe develop them. But then again, you have to look how long is Julio Jones and AJ Brown going to be there? How
correct,
will Derrick Henry eventually? Running backs their wheels start to fall off after some time. Um,
correct.
so it's like maybe the only shot the Tennessee Titans have a chance at going for a legit Super Bowl run is they might have to freaking put all their chips into trying to get an Aaron Rodgers or Russell Wilson type quarterback.
Yep, package Tannehill for some draft picks and with some
Yeah.
draft picks and see if you can get one of them. I mean, Tannehill is not a bad quarterback. I don't want to sit up here and throw that kind of shade at him. Tannehill is not a bad quarterback. I mean, he's an above average quarterback, but there are certain things that has to happen for him to be successful. He has to have that strong running game. He has to have strong wideouts to throw to. And he has to be put in a position whereas, the decisions he makes don't hurt the team.
Yeah.
So I can see Seattle making a deal, Tannehill, Wilson, and maybe the Titans throwing in some draft picks or something of that nature. I can see Seattle doing that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But yeah, I can't see them winning a Super Bowl with Tannehill until they put a really good system around him to make him succeed.
Yeah. So that's obviously going to be the question mark in Tennessee. I think Tennessee Titans fans probably know we're not going to go anywhere with Tannehill.
We're not going to win with this guy. I think it's settled. I don't think they can win with that guy.
Yeah.
I really don't.
Yeah, I don't really.
Too many things would have to be great around him.
Yeah.
They would have to probably have the top five defense, top five defense for sure, top five running game, and probably the best special teams in the league. I mean, that kind of stuff would just have to match up, and it would just have to be total kismet. And all he would have to do is just manage that and just don't make any mistakes. And he made some major mistakes.
Yeah, and with the aspect of the fact that now the Burrows, the Justin Herberts, Lamar Jackson, some of them are here. But like I said, Burrow and Herbert, they're on the come up.
Yep.
Might want to hopefully see if you can do something, at least give an offer out there.
That's true.
And Rodgers or Russell Wilson. But anyways, we're gonna move on to the next game, the game that me and my dad and obviously my uncle here were probably on our tippy toes and we're jumping for joy after the final score was over. And that is the 49ers pulling the upset over the Green Packers. Yet again.
I love that face on Aaron Rodgers after that doggone kick went through. I was just like, oh my goodness gracious. That was just so nice to see. It was just amazing watching this guy walk off the field, looking at the other team celebrate. Oh, like, yeah, that's what you get, you jerk. just go home, go away. Take your $46 million with you. Why don't you don't worry about playing with another team next year. Just do Jeopardy.
Yeah.
I love it.
This also marked, I don't know if it was like a first time in NFL history, but after this loss with the Packers, both number one seeds were out of the playoffs, which shocking enough. Now this game, obviously the way it started, Packers gets the ball first and they go right down the field with utter ease, just like that. And
Boom.
watching this, I'm like, oh God, okay, maybe.
Yeah, I was the same way. I mean, it's like, keep in mind where I am, our games are pretty much, 1, 2 a.m., 3 a.m. So here it is. It's like 2 o'clock in the morning, and I see that first drive, and I'm in this office, and I'm looking at that TV right there. And the first thing I thought about, I was like, oh my goodness gracious, why am I still up?
Yeah.
Oh.
And it looked like, and then you see the 49ers few offensive possessions, and you're just like,
yep.
Okay, yeah, this is going to be a long day for the 49ers.
Yep.
And
yep.
then the 49ers, they at least get 3 points on the board. And you're like, oh, okay, 3 points. And I believe at the time it was like 14-3. But I'm like, yeah, how are these guys still in the game somehow? Or no, 10-3. I'm like, how are these guys still in the freaking game? And I'm just like, Jimmy G is going to do it. And the thing almost made me decide where I'm like, okay, these guys are going to lose this game was when Jimmy G, they were driving within 2 minutes to try to go at least score a touchdown or get a field goal. Jimmy G does what Jimmy G does best, and he throws an untimely interception.
Yep.
For this Packers to get the ball back. And I'm like, somehow the 49ers defense falls asleep, completely forget Jamal Adams is coming out off a wheel route, falls asleep. He almost runs for the touchdown. Credit to the safety or the back safety, I believe. It was either corner or the safety that managed.
I think it was safety. I think it was a safety.
Yeah, managed to catch him down. Then they end up sacking Aaron Rodgers the next play because I thought, oh, great. These guys are going to score a touchdown. It's going to be 17-3, I believe. 17-0. I'm like, game's over. The 49ers managed to sack Aaron Rodgers. I'm like, okay. They sack him. No touchdown. They're at least going to be held to a field goal. So it's going to be 13-0. All right. Still manageable for the 49ers. And then this is kind of when the Packers you could say this is kind of when the Packers started to break down. To end the half, it ends up getting blocked. There was like some sort of free runner coming right up the middle and blocks the kick easy. And I'm like, what the heck? And obviously I remember the one thing about the Packers is they have very bad special teams play.
Yep.
So coming out of half, the 49ers managed to get 3 points and everything. And it's kind of still a stalemate game. Stalemate game, defensive battle. Which I'll say credit to DeMeco Ryans. He did a phenomenal job in this game. After that first drive, he literally adjusted to whatever the Packers were doing. And after some point in the game, I'm just watching this still in the first half. I'm like, wait a second. All Aaron Rodgers is doing, he's throwing to freaking Davante Adams or checking it down to Jamal Adams.
Exactly. The entire game. I'm looking at this 29 total passes. 21 of his 29 passes went to one of those 2 players.
Yeah.
That's all he did the entire game. That's all he did.
And after.
Go ahead.
Yeah. And after I was just thinking that, I was telling my dad and my son, I'm like, they're only throwing to Davante Adams. Like, there was one play, like, I think Davante Adams ends up picking the first down. Like, they're throwing to Davante Adams. Lo and behold, he targets him, gets the first down. I'm like, what they're doing?
He totally didn't trust his other players. He only went to who he trusted. And in the end, it was his downfall because they couldn't move the football. They really couldn't.
Yep.
So it was actually, again, to me, it was just, this typical Green Bay, man. You know what? Aaron Rodgers, for me, is always, he's eye candy. That's all he is, man. He's eye candy. He has no substance. When it comes down to it, he's going to cower under the pressure. And as always, he did it again. When the 49ers defense got really hard and heavy with him, he does what he always does. And in the end, he only could muster up 3 points in 3 quarters. It was beautiful. It was absolutely beautiful. So
and then I keep forgetting the pass to Davante, the double coverage Davante Adams pass where he lost it up. Davante Adams didn't even come down with the pass because it was double covered.
Yeah.
Lazard was wide open. And he didn't even see him at all.
He didn't even look in his direction because, again, he wanted to go to who he trusted. He just didn't trust Lazard. He didn't trust. I was Mark. Was it did Scanlon even play? I don't even think.
I don't even know if he played.
I don't think he played.
I don't think he played.
I don't think he did either. Nope, he didn't.
Yep.
1 target to Lazard, 1 target to Lewis, 2 targets to Daphne, and even Randall Cobb got a target. He didn't trust anybody other than Jones or Adams.
Yeah.
And I think both, and I think all 3 of them are not going to be there next year.
Yeah. Then the thing, and I don't know if it was after that, the Bill 4, but the next ensuing thing, which obviously was a major turning point in the game, is somehow the 49ers managed to block a punt. And take it for a touchdown. And after that, that's when the Packers unraveled. They get 3-and-out stopped again on offense. And Jimmy G, even though he sucked the entire dang game, when he needed to move the ball down the field, simple stuff. They use Kittle and Deebo Samuel to attack the middle of the field, and they get all the way into field goal range. And I literally tweeted, it'd be a freaking coincidence if Robbie Gould ends the Packers' playoff chances. And lo and behold, Robbie Gould, former Chicago Bear, maybe it was a good thing by Ryan Pace to fire him. Otherwise, maybe we're talking a different story. But Robbie Gould hits the game-winning field goal to lift the 49ers.
Flip the upright.
Which makes freaking Aaron Rodgers 0-4 in the playoffs against the 49ers. So to him saying he owns the Bears 20,000 times, well, the 49ers can actively say we own you now.
That's correct.
So also another thing, in the second half, it started to snow, and for some reason you would think, for a cold weather team, that should benefit them. But for some reason, it didn't.
But all in all,
in fact, it made them it made them play worse.
That's not the kind of team that they were. They're a finesse football team. They've always been a finesse football team. Yep. Even though they play on, obviously they call it the frozen tundra. That's not the kind of team that they are. They're not that smash mouth. So they ran for more, they had more rushing yards than the 49ers. No, I'm sorry, not more rushing yards. I mean, they didn't run the ball efficiently enough against the 49ers. They became highly one-dimensional, and the 49ers took advantage of it. Yep. So I said, kudos to the 49ers. Jimmy G he wasn't great, but other than that one interception, he didn't do anything else to screw it up.
Yeah, and the thing is, the 49ers, Kyle Shanahan, smart decision by him, unless he had to, but he strictly kept with running the ball because literally there's a point in the game where it was just like, Jimmy G's next pass is going to be an interception. And one of those passes were almost picked off. And I'm like, literally, you had everybody on Twitter saying Jimmy G is just a pass away from this game being over.
Correct. Now, I'll give Kyle Shanahan some credit. His playoff failures over the years are really, he is not calling games the way he's done in the past. He's calling games a heck of a lot different. He is actually running the football more. He's doing a little bit more screens with his wide receivers. He's actually utilizing the skills of his football team to their best ability. And I got to admit, he's calling football games a heck of a lot different than what he did when he was with Atlanta and that Super Bowl game in which they lost a few years ago. So, I mean,
yeah. Because
got to give Kyle Shanahan some credit because he's actually calling some amazing games so far.
Yeah, because he knows he has a limited quarterback now. It's only a matter of
yeah.
Trey Lance takes the helm.
Yeah, he called that game, that Super Bowl game with Garoppolo, like Garoppolo was equal to Patrick Mahomes, although they could have beat him. But that one throw, which was he threw, man, Garoppolo, that throw in that Super Bowl, it could have iced the game for the 49ers, but he just overthrew it. It was just a horrible throw, and it was just some bad play calls in that game as well, too, that Shanahan shouldn't have done. And it just looks like he's learned from those mistakes, and he called a great game to get that victory.
Yep. Anyways, before we move on to the next game, in terms of the Packers, listen, I don't know where the hell the Packers go, and I hope they go into what I was throwing a party around all late that night, talking about how, guess what? You're going to be with the Bears in purgatory. And hopefully you guys will be in quarterback hell.
Yep.
In terms of the Packers, I don't know what the hell they're going to do. They're like dang near 48, almost $50 million over the cap, which means this. Even if they return Devontae Adams on like a franchise tag and return Aaron Rodgers, guess what they're going to have to do? They're going to have to sacrifice more than likely some pieces on that defense, which makes them weak because they're over the cap. And guess what? You're probably just going to find yourself with an average team with Aaron Rodgers just keeping you alive as much as he can. But it doesn't matter because Aaron Rodgers, I've always said this. I said this even in my Clippers group chat, who I have friends with my Clippers group chat. I said the only reason that the Packers are this good is because Aaron Rodgers fixes all the problems they have, or he covers the problems they have.
Correct.
Take him off the team, guess what? They're an average team, even with Devontae Adams on that team. They're not doing
correct.
Yeah, their defense, okay, they did a nice solid job, but on the most important stop you need to get them on the last drive, you're gonna get them out of field goal range.
Nope.
So guess what? I would envision they're going to have to cut some people off that because there's a lot of defensive players being paid a lot of money on that defense. So you might see them lose maybe Zadarius Smith because he's costing a lot of money. And the way the Packers is looking like it's not good. Nathaniel Hackett, he dipped. He's already in Denver. Luke Getsy potentially could be the Bears' new offensive coordinator. So you're losing two top assistants there. And then, it's all up to whatever Aaron Rodgers wants to do. If he wants to say, yeah, I'm out of here, peace. Well, then guess what? That's not looking like a great destination to play. Yeah. Now, in terms of Aaron Rodgers, listen, what type of joke you are. See, listen, this is the arrogant dude that I hate. He talks a big game. He came in here into the season acting like he is, my God, Tom Brady or a Joe Montana-like quarterback, thinking he deserves all of this and that. And he single-handedly made all these moves for the Packers to make. He says, go get me Randall Cobb. Okay, Aaron, give me a freaking golf cart, for practice I can drive into. Give me this. Give me that. Give me everything. He wanted all this. And they also obviously proclaim this as the Green Bay Packers last dance. Well, listen. I said this in a tweet after that. Don't ever compare yourself to one of the greatest players of all time in any sport. And hell, don't even compare your team to one of the greatest teams in all of sports. The hell was that? You call that last dance? Yeah, getting out of the first round? That's very funny. Aaron Rodgers, this loss made him look like an absolute joke. And now you even go back to this. Aaron Rodgers has been terrible in the playoffs. He's lost every freaking round of the playoffs and hasn't gone back to the Super Bowl since 2010 when they beat our Chicago Bears with Caleb Haney at the starting quarterback because Jay Cutler just got hurt in that game by pure coincidence. So, Aaron Rodgers, he's fraudulent. Look, if he wants to go to the AFC, fine. That's going to be a challenge. But like we said earlier with the Tennessee Titans, there's a bunch of young quarterbacks already there or on the come up that he's going to have to deal with over there. And listen, I think he ain't probably ever going to sniff another Super Bowl chance ever again, despite where he goes, because I think he had his chances in the past few years with Green Bay, and he's always come up short and, choked away the whole thing. I knew this was going to happen. I knew it was going to happen. Now, if Matthew Stafford completes that this upcoming Sunday, well, then I'll be right about all my playoff predictions about all these quarterbacks choking up when the big time matters. But Aaron Rodgers, listen, he can go somewhere else. That's fine and dandy. If I was a team picking up, the only thing I'd be skeptical is like, okay, dude, you're here now. Can you please do something for us in the playoffs and actually get us there? Because we traded a lot to get you here, and stuff like that. So, yeah, that's just my thoughts. So, then Aaron Rodgers just had the audacity to go on Pat McAfee's show and say, "Oh, the people that wanted to see me lose is because they don't like the fact that I'm immunized or vaccinated." No, fool. We don't like you because one, we're Bear fans, and two, we don't like you because you're an arrogant piece of you know what. Simple as that. This is the same
Simple as
guy. He
that.
cuts his ties off.
I think you said it all. I think
Yeah.
you said it all. And honestly, I say let's move on. The less Aaron Rodgers we have to talk about, the better. Let's.
Yeah. That's it. That's it. Right.
Yep, that's it. I'm good.
Yeah. So
bye, Aaron.
Yeah. Hopefully, we'll see what the Packers do. But last more thing. How the hell do you have Brett Favre and Aaron Rodgers, two great generational quarterbacks, and both of them only won one chip?
That's two chips in a matter of 20 plus years, maybe 25 plus years. Yeah, actually 20, almost 30 years.
Yeah.
Two quarterbacks that played that long.
Trust
for this one organization, 25 something, at least 25 plus years, and only two chips to show for it. Hall of Fame quarterbacks too, but
yeah. And look, you Packer fans can say, "Oh, shut up, you Bear fans." At least we're actually competitive and we're actually winning divisional titles.
That's fine.
I'd rather freaking be let down time in, time year again than be a competitive team, get all the way to be like the number one seed, and you look like you're gonna be Super Bowl favorites, only to choke within your first playoff game or second to last game to get to the Super Bowl. And you constantly see that again and again and again.
Yep.
I'll stick my chances. Yep.
With a Hall of Fame quarterback.
I'll stick my chances with the anemic Chicago Bears. Thank you. Come again.
Thank you.
We're done talking
right
about
over here.
Green Bay Packers.
Exit stage left.
Yeah. The next game, another interesting game that came down to the wire. The Los Angeles Rams versus the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And holy crap. This game was wild. The Rams essentially dominate the Tampa Bay Buccaneers essentially for 3.5 quarters.
I wouldn't say they dominated them, but let's go. I would say 2.5 quarters. I'll say 2.5, because you can kind of tell at the latter part of that third quarter that Brady was starting to figure them out.
Yeah.
He was starting to figure them out. And you saw that in the fourth, for the most part, that he lit right into the Rams. He lit right into them, and I don't I'm gonna sound like I'm a Brady apologist. He played like crap in the first half. He played like Joe Brady in the first half, and he played like Tom Brady in the second. But this loss is squarely on the shoulders of the defensive coordinator for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Yeah. I can tell you that last drive, Cooper Kupp was wide open on 2 plays. When you got the best wide receiver in the league, and on one play you cover him with your third cornerback, and he put that guy's face in the dirt on that play that went out of bounds. And then on the very next play, he's lined up with that same cornerback, and this guy blitzes, and you try to cover him one-on-one with a safety. What do you think is going to happen? I'm sorry. Todd Bowles, that loss is squarely on him.
I'm glad the Bears didn't even hire him.
Nope.
I'll take that, Eberflus.
I'll take Eberflus. But that loss is squarely on Bowles. He put 2 plays together, and they bombed. And I gotta admit, if I'm Matt Stafford and you're gonna play my best wide receiver like that, hell yeah, I'm gonna throw it to him. I'm gonna throw it to him. Easy cheesy.
Yep.
The one player you do not play like that, or the one player you have to make sure you account for is the other team's best wideout. Best wideout. And this guy happens to be the best wideout in the league. And you cover him with a third string cornerback, and also and a safety. Man on man. Sorry. Todd Bowles, that's on you, brother.
Yeah. The thing is, what happened is what truly kind of somewhat changed and kept Tampa Bay in the game was it looked like the Rams were going to run in a touchdown at the end of the first half, but somehow they force a fumble.
Yes.
They recovers the fumble. They managed to take it at the halftime. And even then, in my Clippers group chat, he's a Rams fan. I was telling him, I don't know, my boy DJ. You need to. This is the GOAT, Tom Brady. You don't want to mess with this guy. He's already big in a big time game in the Super Bowl, and he can pull off a comeback like this.
That's right.
Somehow, crazy enough, even though there was drive stoppers, Tampa Bay still hung in there, and Tom Brady gets them down the field at some points in some point in the game. Anyways, what happens is it's like a one-score game because at some point, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers made it a one-score game after finally freaking scoring a touchdown and everything. And it's like, okay, Los Angeles, they just have to run the ball out and, pick up a first down. The game's pretty much over. Well, they run the ball with Cam Akers, and Cam Akers shockingly fumbles the football. And I was like, you're joking. And this was getting insanity because it was just pure insanity. There's like turnovers happening. I'm like, what the heck is going on? Because at some point, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers fumbled the ball, and then only for the Rams to fumble the ball right back to them. And I'm like, what's going on here? They managed to score a touchdown to tie the game at 24-all. And it's like, okay, Tampa Bay needs to stop. They get hit home to Matthew Stafford. He almost coughs up the ball. I literally thought this was his Matthew Stafford moment. He gives the game up and lets his Rams fans down, but he managed to recover the fumble somehow. And after passing the ball out of bounds, it's 3rd and long. And okay, 3rd and long in a situation where you need to at least keep him out of field goal range. You would think that you would sit back in a zone defense and just say, don't get beat deep. Know where the field goal line is at so they can't kick it. Just keep everything in front of you. At the least they can do, punt the ball off to you, and maybe we have a chance with maybe seconds to maybe try and Hail Mary and win this game. And for some odd reason, Todd Bowles doesn't elect to sit in a zone defense.
No, not at all.
He elects to go in the most critical thing. Okay, blitz. All right, I'm not mad that you blitz. You want to get home. My question is this, because they did an overview shot of the numbers and like an X's and O's type of thing. Why are you bringing not just a corner blitz, a slot corner blitz? But then I look at said X's and O's diagram. Levante David is just chilling out in the middle of the field. Why not blitz your linebacker and keep your slot corner on Cooper Kupp?
Or even better yet, that's fine. That's fine. All I'm saying is have your best corner on Cooper Kupp, regardless of where he is. You can still blitz from the corner position. All I'm saying is that if Cooper Kupp is your guy, don't blitz. Don't blitz. And then when you did blitz, the person that had to cover him was not that linebacker that you talked about within the middle of the field. You had him covered with just a safety.
Yep.
There was no way I'm going to allow the best wide receiver in the league to have that much free room on any play, on one play, let alone two.
Yeah. And all Matthew Stafford needed was just a few seconds, and almost right as the defender was about to get there, he gets the ball out right there.
Gets it right out.
Crazy pass.
And Matt probably saw it too. Matt probably saw, okay, listen here. I got number 10 on number, what was it? 23.
23.
Oh, like I got number 10 on this guy. I can tell you right now, I don't care who 23 is. I don't know who he is, but I know he ain't better than 10. Oh, look, 23 is blitzing. Wow. Imagine my luck. 23 is blitzing. Let me just let this guy come just enough so I can get this pass off to the best wide receiver in the league. And I think on the play before that, 23 was covering him, and Cooper Kupp put his face in the dirt in a play that went for about 20-something yards.
Oh, Sean Murphy Bunting. Sean Murphy Bunting.
Sean Murphy Bunting. I'm like, come on now.
Yeah.
Anyway. But
listen, credit to Sean McVay calling essentially all out, just run down the middle of the field. I just feel like this is going to be coming.
The middle of the field is wide open. It's wide.
Essentially, I saw the X's and O's thing. Everything was covered. Everything was relatively covered.
Well, what I saw is that he continued. I'm assuming Cooper Kupp mostly play outside the entire game. They usually have Tyler Higbee in those slot positions, maybe a little bit with Van Jefferson, but they'll switch those guys up every now and then. This particular time, they had Cooper Kupp in the middle. So I'm assuming, and I'm just assuming, I'm not a defender. You got more football knowledge than I do, considering that, especially you played. Mm-hmm. But considering what they were doing on the outsides, they pretty much did everything that they could to defend the outside. So Sean McVay is like, okay, if you're going to do that, I'm going to put my best guy in the slot.
Yeah.
And look what they did.
Yeah.
I mean, it was poor management on recognizing the coverage of the defense. The defense did a poor job of recognizing the play that was set up in front of him. Todd Bowles, that was just that. He should have noticed that. I would have called a timeout, especially if I would have noticed Cooper Kupp was in the slot.
Yeah.
And he would have been single covered, especially when he beat me to play before. I would have been like, listen, we need to make sure we know where this guy is at all times. The hell with OD or Odell Beckham Jr., who's wide.
Yeah.
And Van Jefferson was wide. Just Todd Bowles, that was a rough 2 plays.
Yeah. And that could have been, well, the main reason why Todd Bowles maybe might not get a head coaching gig this.
Yeah.
Say that it can't happen next year, but some teams can look and be like, why would you blitz at an inopportune like that? Again,
not like that.
Todd Bowles is known for.
And you blitz Matt Stafford. Yep. He blitzed Matt Stafford.
Yeah. So and before we get out of here and talk about the Tampa Bay in terms of where they could go, listen, credit to Matthew Stafford. He stepped up. He didn't have any turnovers this game, and when the moment shined the most, when he needed to step up, he managed to make the pass. So. He did shut the people who doubt him a lot down for now. We'll have to see, throughout this run, can he continue to build on upon it? I believe he can. We'll just have to see.
With Sean McVay, I believe he can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, honestly, I don't. It's kind of like what the Packers are doing. It's just a whole question mark. You don't know if Tom Brady's going to retire. Because the way Tom Brady has been talking as of late, sounds like he might actually hang the cleats up. Rob Gronkowski, he's talking like he might permanently retire. He said he's basing his decision on what Tom Brady does. Levante David, he says, yeah, some guys might not be here and stuff like that. And it just feels like end of what the Buccaneers could have potentially been.
Yeah.
They had a lot of injuries this year. Truly, if you go back, you could truly honestly say their end of their season was when Chris Godwin got hurt and went down. But the thing is, my view is this. Do I think Tom Brady will retire? I think he's on the point in his career where he's on the cusp of thinking about it, but I think he's going to have one more season. Because he did say he wants to play till he's 45, and I believe he's like 44 or something like that. I think
he will be 44 in February. I think it's February. No, I think he should have just became 44. You're right.
Yeah. I think he'll play one more season, and that will be his last, and then done. Otherwise, I'm guessing if he retires at the end of the season, then I guess his wife won the battle this time.
Yeah.
And if it is, it was a great career. Nothing
Yeah.
to take away from that. But if he
First ballot.
Yeah.
I always say, never listen to the player after emotional loss in the playoffs about retirement directly after said emotional loss. You have to be able to decompress. And I've coached basketball for a long time, and one of my main staples as a coach is I always try to decompress for 24 hours before I talk to anyone about the prior game. Now I know as far as professional sports go, the media is everywhere, so you do have to talk about these things right afterwards. So a lot of times players are highly emotional. They are thinking about everything in retrospect. They don't have a time to get their thoughts together to be able to clarify their feelings. So, and it happens every year. So I'll probably say we won't really hear much about what Brady is going to do probably, and we probably won't hear about it until the summer.
Yeah.
Really. Because like right now, we haven't even heard anything from Ben Roethlisberger, and everyone's saying
Roethlisberger already retired. He retired yesterday.
He did retire. Okay, I'm in Germany. There's a lot of things I can't get up there. But Brady, I'll say you probably won't hear anything about that probably until the summer. I mean, I can't imagine. But this year was rough for that wide receiver core. I'll say that wide receiver core really got hit really bad. And I don't know if Godwin is gonna be back 100% when they'll need him to next year. That's gonna be an issue. Mike Evans obviously will be back, so I can honestly see them trying to maybe pick up another wide receiver. But
yeah,
if Brady is not calling the shots, then this team is going to be headed for a lot of turmoil.
Yeah. And who knows how long Bruce Arians will be coaching. Like I think
right. Let's keep in mind they just lost Leftwich to the Jaguars, so they got.
No, they haven't.
Really?
Hasn't signed with the Jaguars yet.
He hadn't signed with them yet. They announced him to be the head coach.
No, there's people saying that should be a done deal, but from what I know, from what I've been seeing, because I haven't got that alert to my phone yet, their talks are stalling between Leftwich and the freaking Jaguars. Apparently, rumors are Leftwich don't want the Jaguars GM in office no more. He wants him out, and the Jaguars. I don't know.
You know what? And again, you don't want to walk. You don't want to walk into a toxic situation. And everything that's been going on with the Jaguars is strictly toxic.
Yeah, and Leftwich, I saw today. Leftwich took an interview with the Saints for their opening head coach position.
Yeah, they got a good ownership structure there, so hopefully, they'll get on board with him. I can't honestly, speaking about it, saying I can't honestly see Peyton taking a job next football season either. Most times, again, you want to decompress, you want to get away from it for a while, you want to think about things, you want to be able to see football in a different light as a spectator, as opposed to just jumping right back into the fray. So, but
yeah, we'll see. Their coordinator's positions for not only Todd Bowles, because I know he is still getting interviewed by the Raiders. It's up in the air to if Bowles will be gone. I would highly say they are going to be gone because there's still a lot of head coaching seats there. But if they come back, okay. But I guess if they're back by the time Arians retires, maybe they take over. One of them take over.
And keep in mind now, there's still a lot of jobs out there that's a little bit more attractive than obviously the Jaguars and the Raiders. The Giants head coaching job is one of those. They just signed, they just announced that the assistant GM from Buffalo just took their GM job. So I looked at them probably potentially hiring a head coach within the next week or so. So, I mean, maybe Leftwich is, say, hey, hold on here. Maybe I shouldn't just hold on and take this toxic situation. Let me just go ahead and interview around a little bit further. And I might be able to find a really good, attractive position. The Saints, the Giants, Minnesota. Has Minnesota hired anybody yet?
They only hired their GM. They haven't
We hired the GM. That's
I
it.
think what
That's
they're doing
another
is
name.
I think what they're doing is they're seemingly it seems like apparently I'm guessing they're high on D'Amico Ryans, and I guess they're waiting for when whatever happens.
Yeah. Well, the Vikings, again, I mean, they're another one of them franchises who, usually historically grab a defensive coordinator as their head guy. I don't have a problem with that, considering they really don't have one of those. They don't have a really great quarterback, and I can't, a guy like Leftwich, I would be looking for a gig, whereas you got a good quarterback already in tow.
Yeah.
And obviously that's Jacksonville. You can kind of consider maybe the Raiders, but so like I say, we'll see. We'll see
Yeah.
where they go.
We'll see.
We'll see.
Also too, if you wondered what are my thoughts on the Sean Payton move, I made a video yesterday. I'll leave it at the end of the outro of the video. Click on that, you'll get my thoughts on what happened with Sean Payton and where because I speculated Sean Payton just taking maybe a year or two off of the game of football. He'll get back. But I think so far, from what the word is out, he could end up potentially with the Cowboys, especially with the fact that I highly doubt that Mike McCarthy's going to be there. He's going to be gone.
You honestly think that he'll make that move? I would think that if he was gonna fire McCarthy, he would have done so by now. I mean, with all these head coaching positions. Well, that's true. That's true. Now, granted, it's true, but even still, I would think that with all of the coaches that are currently available, then make the move and enter yourself in that pool for these coaches that are currently available. Don't wait till they're all hired and say, hey, Mike McCarthy, we're going to have to let you go. So thank you very much for your support and situation to the Dallas Cowboy organization, but we're going to have to look in another direction. Okay, yeah, but do that while there's available bodies that can coach football. I think McCarthy's going to be there next year. So I think too many people are just they twisting in the wind about nothing.
I don't think they want to do the whole thing. If Jerry Jones is interested in Sean Payton, fire McCarthy, get a coach, and then fire him after a year for some stupid reason.
Yeah,
like that. So I think
bring McCarthy in as some type of advisor, consultant, not McCarthy. Bring Sean Payton in as some type of advisor, consultant, and then when this happens to the Cowboys again next year, and it will. Well, I'll just go ahead and book it. It will. Then go ahead and release McCarthy and bring Sean Payton in.
Yeah, I think Sean Payton did this to take a year off and then just look at options, see what head coaching or head coach fired, and just choose the best location where he. Now, remember, like I said in that same video, the team who wants Sean Payton, they're gonna have to trade for him because he's still under contract with the Saints. So
it depends on how long he's out. I mean, how long is he under contract for?
I think till 2025.
2025? Yeah, Saints ain't gonna let him go anywhere.
Yeah. But anyways, let's get to the last divisional game before we get into our championship predictions. And obviously, best game of the weekend, and that was between the Bills and the freaking Kansas City Chiefs. Man, this game was a game for the ages. And I'll let you mind you, at this point in time, I was 2-1. I chose the Bengals and the 49ers to win, but obviously I lost my prediction on the Buccaneers. So I was kind of a little bit upset about that, but I thought it was going to go perfect.
I thought you picked the Rams.
No, I picked Tampa Bay because of Tom Brady.
Oh yeah, no, we both picked the Buccaneers. That's right. We sang Tom Brady's praises, and he gave us one half of really good football.
He almost pulled it off. He almost pulled it
off. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he looked at Todd Bowles like, mother.
But moving on, another game I got wrong, but I thought was going to happen was the Bills Chiefs. And what a way to end off the divisional round weekend with this game. This game was back and forth. Now, for a majority point of this game, Kansas City had complete control. Then Buffalo still hung in there and, freaking fired back. And lo and behold, they caught right back in this game. And Josh Allen makes a beautiful pass to Gabriel Davis, who just made the DB. Oh my God!
And he did it twice with Davis too. it was just twice. I'm like, How do you find the same guy on the same play, same situation twice?
Like one of the plays from the game I remember is Patrick Mahomes goes down the field, scores a touchdown, and then the next drive the Bills get, Josh Allen's just saying, "F it, I'm going deep," and then Gabriel Davis right there catches a fade. Within 2 plays, Bills answer right back, and then like I said, what is it? This was 13 seconds left to go in the game. The Bills are driving down the field. Gabriel Davis puts on a freaking crazy stick move. I don't even know how the corner fell over like that. He got fooled out of his shoes. He probably still hasn't recovered. I'm sorry. He probably had to be get made fun of in the film practice.
Again, it's the same thing. You would think at that situation, you would know, okay, this guy's already got 3 touchdowns. We can't let him score again.
Yep.
And you do. He was what? I mean, how can you be that wide open in a playoff game on the road? On the road. And this guy had 4 touchdowns and 201 yards in a playoff game. I'm like, he ain't Randy Moss. He ain't Jerry Rice. Y'all defense made him look like that. But 201 yards, 4 touchdowns, 8 receptions. This dude went crazy on your defense.
Yeah. Josh Allen throws that pass. 13 seconds left. They score a touchdown to take. Yep. They go for the 2-point conversion. Stephon Diggs makes a crazy catch.
Crazy catch.
Like, I think it was like way behind him, and he was like all over.
Yes.
On like the back of the end zone, still catches it, gets 2 feet in bounds.
But it was Josh Allen that made that play. Josh Allen extended that play just like. Now, granted, he ran to his left and came back across his body to throw the football. I mean, that was a great. Stephon Diggs made a great catch. It was a good throw. I mean, but the quarterback did what he was supposed to do. Just put it in the area where your guy can catch it.
Yep.
And Diggs made a crazy catch.
So 13 seconds are left, and I'm like, my God, they're gonna actually pull off the upset. They're gonna win this game.
Yep.
And I think one of the first mistakes that the Bills made here was kicking the ball deep into the end zone to put the ball on the 20-yard line. I thought, and this is a very highly debatable topic, I thought they should just squib kicked it to let some time run off the clock. At least maybe Kansas City has 9 or 8, maybe 7 seconds left.
I was thinking 10. I was thinking squib 2, try to get 3 or 4 seconds off that clock. But no, they didn't.
They kicked it deep. Patrick Mahomes makes a pass to, I think it was Tyreek Hill or Kelsey.
It was Hill.
He picks up a first down. They're still somewhat middle of the field. Then pass to Kelsey, who is just running straight to get himself in the field goal range. And you're just like, what the heck's going on? And then you're like, oh, wait. It's nice old Leslie Frazier, and thank God the Bears didn't hire that clown. He might have lost himself a head coaching gig again.
Yep. And on top of that, Tampa Bay still had time. I mean, not Tampa Bay. Kansas City still had a timeout. It's not like they didn't have any timeouts. If they didn't have any timeouts, you obviously think they would have went to the middle of the field with I think at the time it was 8 seconds left.
Yeah.
No. Yep. I guess it was bad clock management on Buffalo's part. I mean, when the clock is the enemy, you got to do the right thing to get rid of that clock. And honestly, that a squib would have done most of the job.
Yeah. Harrison Butker kicks the field goal to tie the game. We go to overtime. Obviously, at this point, I'm like, whoever wins the toss is going to win this game. And Kansas City won the toss. They go down the field, scored the game-winning touchdown, game over. Obviously, it was a collapse by the Bills' defense. That goes squarely on Leslie Frazier and Sean McDermott. You probably should have had better situational awareness. You should have squib kicked the ball to run some time off the clock. Who knows what happens after that, and stuff like that. Obviously, the big talking point out of this game is, especially with the overtime rules, is should the Bills have gotten another chance? Now, here's my stance. I understand people who say, well, you're supposed to stop them on defense. That's what you're supposed to do. Stop them. Yes, I understand that. But I still do not like the fact that a touchdown can end the game. They already fixed the overtime rules a bit by making it to where if you kick a field goal, the opposing team still gets a chance to get the ball. I just wish it doesn't matter on the first possession of overtime. If a team scores, said opposing team should get a chance to see if they can counteract, fight, and score again. But that's just me. I don't have problem with people who say the defense should stop him. That's what you got to do. But personally, I want both teams getting a fair shot and saying, well, because I can say the same thing. Well, then, okay, you score the points, get the stop to end the game. But like I said, that's just me. I wanted to make it to where it was more entertaining, and I just felt like, damn, Josh Allen could have probably got a chance, but he didn't get it because that's what the rules say. Listen, I hope for my sanity, especially to make NFL games a lot more interesting when it comes to overtime stuff, they changed the rules to where both teams are allowed to get the ball and have a chance to score, despite whatever happens. If if one team scores, opposing team's offense should get a chance to see, can we counteract and go back and score the points. I think it would make stakes a lot higher, but that's just me.
The stakes are a lot higher when you tell your defense, come up with a stop. I like the overtime rules exactly the way I call me an old fogey, if you will. That's fine. But my thing is, if you want to win the football game and you don't happen to win the coin toss, fine. I'll put my defense out there and we're going to do whatever's necessary to keep you out of that end zone. And unfortunately, Kansas City scored easy cheesy. It's not Kansas City's fault. Why change the overtime rules and why change the overtime rules and punish Kansas City for doing what they were supposed to do? I don't think, me personally, again, it's old school thinking for me. This is the way it's always been. And I think this is the way, I don't have a problem with the field goal stuff. That's fine because you're actually rewarding the defense and so you can get another chance. I get that part. But if the defense don't do their job, go home.
Home. I think it's a debatable topic that will probably go on till the end of
it. Shouldn't be debatable. It's been going on for years now. It's always something. Eventually they're like, okay, like for example, college football, 9 overtimes. That crap is ridiculous. That is absolutely ridiculous. And that's exactly where some people want to take it. Well, they should just keep going until the defense gets a stop. Okay, well, you know what? Let's just do it the one time. Defense, if you get a stop, y'all get a shot. But the defense gets that one chance to get a stop. This whole back and forth, that crap is ridiculous. No, and I think eventually that's what someone wants to do with the NFL. Just start this whole, 9 overtimes, 10 overtimes, 27 overtimes. You know what? We tired, so we're gonna go ahead. We're gonna finish up with the 30th overtime next Saturday. I like it exactly the way it is. It's perfect. It does not need to be changed. We need a winner. And if you can't win on that first drive, then you do not deserve to win the game. Just that simple.
Well, we'll see. In terms of the Buffalo Bills, I think
they are in turmoil. We talked about this. They're gonna lose their assistant general manager. They're gonna lose Brian Daboll. They may lose Leslie Frazier. I think Dabble is going. I think Brian Dabble is going to be the one because he is. I mean, I got to admit, he's decently innovative with his offense. He developed Josh Allen, so it's going to be interesting to see. Now, granted, an assistant general manager, you kind of wonder, what the fallout is going to be from losing your assistant general manager, you know. But at the same time, any key figure that's leaving your front office is detrimental. And with your assistant general manager, potentially your offensive and defensive coordinators as well too, you know, this could be something for Buffalo, because Buffalo's defense was actually top 5. They were pretty good, and I think they were either 1 or 2 when they ended the season. So it's going to be interesting how they react in the event they lose all 3 of those positions.
I'll do a little bit of pushback. I think you're going to be fine with losing to Brian Dibble, because right now you got your franchise guy in Josh Allen. He's already developed, so
yeah, I agree.
In his hands
that's
now,
true.
so you shouldn't have to be worried about maybe Josh. Yeah, maybe Josh Allen could take a hindrance, but he's still that dude for you guys, and he's already fully developed. And I'm of the belief when you have the quarterback developed and he's already just high on confidence and he knows essentially the playbook inside out.
That's true.
I don't feel like there should be no cause for concern. Yeah, he'll lose a great play caller in a Brian DeBoll, but who's to say that maybe the next guy does a solid enough job?
No, you're right, but they got to get that next guy. Now, that next guy could come in and totally undermine everything that was happening with Brian DeVol or Brian Dable, however you pronunciate his name. Apologies if we did, you know, blow it up. But that next guy, I mean, he could have a Bill Walsh effect, or he could have a Ryan Nagy effect. You really just don't know. You really just don't know.
Well, that's kind of it for where we're going to talk about the division round. Again, like we said, great set of games. I don't think no other game, including unless the Super Bowl, is intense like this week. I don't see how that last week of playoffs is going to top anything this season.
Yeah. That Bill Chiefs game, that should have been that's the kind of Super Bowl I want to see.
Yeah.
That's the kind of Super Bowl I want to see. So hopefully we get this Super Bowl, we get 2 really good quarterbacks in the game. Hopefully.
Yeah. Well, going on to the championship game predictions. The first championship game on Sunday is the Bengals versus the Chiefs. Now, obviously, these two teams played each other earlier in the season, near the tail end of the season, and that game was in Cincinnati. The only difference, like I said, that it's going to be this time is going to be in Arrowhead in Kansas City. I will say I am very much sold on the Cincinnati Bengals this year. Especially, I even was more sold on them after overcoming what they did in Tennessee, just overcoming the 9 sacks, and just being in a gritty, tough game, showing a lot of heart and battle and resilience. Really makes me freaking love the Cincinnati Bengals. And it's like, I don't want to get off the bandwagon. I really do like this team, but they're going up against a freaking monster in Kansas City. And it's just, I saw what I saw from the Kansas City Chiefs. I'm like, there could be a chance that the Bengals can do it. And I give them a pretty dang good chance to actually knock them off after what I saw. But I'm just going to be honest. I'm going to take the Chiefs this time. I'm going to choose my head over my heart. I just feel like Patrick Mahomes is going to make that play that just carries the Chiefs into the Super Bowl. Not to say that Joe Burrow won't, but I feel like what the Bengals need to do is they need to do what they did last game. They need to force a turnover, and a turnover where it's major enough in the game that changes the game, and they actually scored a touchdown off said turnover. Now, the one thing the Bengals on offense have going for them is Jamar Chase. Jamar Chase, last time these two teams played, could not be stopped. The Chiefs had no answers for that guy. I think it will be a freaking aerial battle between Joe Burrow and Patrick Mahomes. And I think it might be another classic NFL football game to watch. But I'm gonna go with the Chiefs winning by, I'll say 31-21. I got them winning by 10.
Oh, you got a nice little spread and a low scoring game as well too. I think the Bengals' chance at winning this game is really good, but I feel they have to muck it up. They really do. They pretty much have to run the football, slow the tempo down. I think if you play at Kansas City's tempo, no, I don't think you're going to win. I really don't. And Kansas City already has the experience of playing Buffalo already. So they automatically know what they did the last game, and they know what to do to probably clear up the mistakes they made the last game. So I'm going with the Chiefs as well. And for me, in the playoffs, it's more about what the Bengals has done and who they've done it against. They played a lame duck Raiders team, and they basically played a beat up Titans team that they barely beat. Whereas Kansas City, they played 2 games and they got over 80 points. So Kansas City is actually playing on all cylinders, and they are at home again. And the Bengals aren't limping in. I mean, there aren't any serious major injuries that they've had, but they struggled against both the Raiders, and they struggled against the Titans as well too. They basically struggled against 2 lame duck teams. So you can't play the way that they were playing. They were lucky in both of those games. A penalty that shouldn't have been called against the Raiders, and a bad throw by a bad quarterback when they played the Titans. So it could very well have easily been, either one of these teams in this game. Whereas the Chiefs, they won both games, and they won it, just by being better than the other team. So they really didn't make it. They really haven't made any serious mistakes that have cost them a game. They haven't really made any serious mistakes. Now I get defense. Yeah, they have, but to me, the opponents that the Bengals has played are well beneath what the Chiefs are, and I can't see them going in the Arrowhead and beating the Chiefs. So I'll say Chiefs. I think they'll get another 40 spot.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll say 42-38.
Okay. I can see that.
Yeah.
And if the Bengals somehow pull off the impossible, well then.
I don't think it's impossible.
Yeah.
Because that offense is good. That offense is really good. And that defense is actually playing really well. And Zach Taylor has proven himself to be an amazing play caller, especially when it counts. That drive that they got that field goal on against the Titans was very good. So Zach Taylor is a really good play caller. So I don't think that the Bengals aren't chumps. Now there's a really good football team, and they're going to score against Kansas City. I just think when it all comes down to it, that just they won't be able to stop Mahomes when Mahomes needs to score.
Yeah. Moving on to the last championship game, and that is the game that's played out in my backyard. That is the San Francisco 49ers going up against the Los Angeles Rams in round number 3 that will determine who will go to the Super Bowl on the NFC side of things. Again, like I said, I was impressed with the 49ers with how they went into Green Bay and defeated Green Bay. But at the same time, I was also impressed by Los Angeles Rams for essentially not choking away the game when they probably had no business winning that game, because they were literally choking that game away to Tampa Bay.
Mm-hmm.
But obviously my stance was throughout this entire round is the fact that Matthew Stafford could be the reason why the Rams win or the Rams lose. Well, last week the Rams won because of Matthew Stafford.
The Rams won because of Todd Bowles. Stop that.
With a combination. I'll say that.
Todd Bowles.
But I think the thing is with the 49ers is I think the defense obviously knows this offense very well. So I think the defense will do its best to get stops. Now, I think the difference compared to this is Matthew Stafford is more open to throwing to other receivers than Aaron Rodgers was. So I do think the Rams will score more points than the Packers did. Obviously, the main question goes down to the offense of the 49ers because in terms of the offense for the Rams and the defense of the Rams, they're clicking on all cylinders. The defense is humming. The offense is pretty much solid too. They did have a little bit of a cool off in that Tampa Bay game, but we'll see if that goes on against the stout defense in San Francisco. But the question is squarely short on Jimmy Garoppolo. The fact that this guy was a pick away from potentially losing the game in Green Bay, it goes to show you, you can make the honest truth that the Rams defense is a lot better than Green Bay's defense.
That's correct. And the Rams are at home. And the Rams are also playing in a stadium that is slated to have the Super Bowl as well, too. So,
I'll push back on that because the thing is, 49er fans, when it comes, and this goes for any, whether it's 49ers or Rams fan, whether they play the Chargers or the Rams in SoFi, I watch on TV. Sometimes the away team fans outshine and show up more than the freaking home team fans. And which was funny because I found the fact that SoFi was purposely hiding the fact that you can only be in the LA area to buy tickets because they didn't want 49er fans to come and show up, which is hilarious.
Oh, really? They did that out there?
Yep.
Oh, wow.
But after the Rams won the game against the Buccaneers, obviously every Ticketmaster opened up and stuff like that. So I would not be shocked if I see a lot of red in SoFi, I would not be shocked. Even though I see Rams fans all over my TL, fill the building. I don't know. Maybe the San Francisco 49ers.
You got a score?
I think, I'm going to go with the Rams because I just feel like Jimmy Garoppolo is going to just do something. I feel like this time the Rams are going to not let Jimmy Garoppolo get away with almost picks. And I think they might pick him off more than one time. I think Jimmy might throw 3 picks, which will more than likely end the chances for the 49ers. I like the 49ers because they are a very tough team, and Kyle Shanahan knows this team well. I think the Rams are going to come up by the score of 27-24, and Matthew Stafford leads the Rams down another, time to get down the field, either kick a game-winning field goal or score a touchdown and win the game and send the Rams to the Super Bowl.
It's funny you mentioned that 27-24 because the last time they played, that was the score.
Yep.
But the Rams, I think, won. Yeah, the 49ers.
49ers won. And then, mind you, the 49ers beat the Rams 2 times this year. So beating a team 3 times is pretty hard.
It's the 3rd time. And that 3rd one is always difficult. But I'll say this. Both of these head coaches have been to the Super Bowl. Both of these head coaches have lost the Super Bowl. Both of these head coaches have lost the Super Bowl to Tom Brady. Both of these head coaches have lost to Tom Brady by making bonehead decisions during the game. Okay, so now we got both of these head coaches playing against each other in the playoff without Tom Brady. So typically, you would think that it's going to fall upon which coach makes the best play at the right time. Me personally, I gotta admit, I'm still on that SoFi head. I gotta go with the Rams. I honestly think that now, granted, defensively, the 49ers are playing the best defense in football. I just think they're playing the best defense in football. So
I think it could be debatable. But
the 49ers are playing the best defense in the playoffs. I'm sorry. Man, that front four is getting to the quarterback. They stopping the run. The only thing that's bothering me about the 49ers is Jimmy Garoppolo. And when you have Jimmy Garoppolo and Matt Stafford, you got to go with the best quarterback. But in this particular case, I'm going to go with the Rams. Sean McVay, is going to go back to the Super Bowl and they're going to play the Chiefs. So I'm going to say 27-24 Rams. I like the SoFi Field thing. Last year the Buccaneers won the Super Bowl and they were in Tampa Bay. I just think this is just going to be a repeat. I just think this is going to be a repeat. I mean, having a Super Bowl in LA with the 49ers, that's going to be really, that'll be really jacked up. That'll be really jacked up.
Yeah.
So, and I'm not saying that the league is going to do something questionable to get the Rams into the Super Bowl. But at the same time, I understand that, it's important. I'll say it's important, I think, for the NFL to make sure that the Rams are probably going to hope the Rams are going to be in that game. But it's won and lost on the field. And I honestly think Sean McVay is going to do the right things to make sure his quarterback is in the position to win that game. 27-24 Rams.
Yeah, and we said earlier about Jimmy Garoppolo making mistakes. Who's to say that Matthew Stafford maybe make a mistake, because this year he has not played San Francisco really well.
No.
So
but I will tell you though, if you had your choice of which quarterback is going to make the mistake, the crucial mistake, I say, when it's all said and done, who are you going to bank your money on? Stafford with his wide receiving core, or Garoppolo with his core receivers? I mean, I tend to lean towards, Matt Stafford being a little bit more successful in those situations than Garoppolo. Garoppolo has shown that he sometimes throw. He'll do a Matt Tannehill. I mean, he'll do it to Ryan Tannehill before Matt Stafford.
Yeah. It depends with me. I think both quarterbacks could make that crucial mistake, but I'm more leaned with what I saw last week, Jimmy G, to make it. But I won't be shocked maybe Matthew Stafford makes a mistake, throws a pick, and it could end up maybe having the Rams lose. But we'll just have to see where the game goes.
That's true. I will say this, though. If in the same position, I expect the 49er defense to play a hell of a lot better than the Tampa Bay defense did in those crucial moments.
Yeah,
I will say that I expect that 49 defense to actually be on its toes the right way in those crucial moments. So, but at the same time, when it's all said and done, Matt Stafford is the better quarterback.
Yeah,
and he's got the best wide receiver in the league. And in fact, I mean, it's questionable, but Deebo Samuel is really good, But Odell Beckham Jr. is for the best. Second best wide receiver on the field as well too. I mean, all in all, the Rams front four is really good. I mean, and then on top of that, pair probably line up with more likely it'll be Deebo Samuel. So, and I really like the Rams. I really do. They're playing some really good football. The 49ers are playing really good situational football. And the Rams, I think, are going to go to the Super Bowl against the Chiefs.
Yeah. But other than that, that's I guess our prediction. So, we're gonna get out of here. So if you guys like the video, leave a like, put in the comment section your thoughts on your predictions, as well as your reactions from the divisional round. I don't know.
Give us some thoughts on Matt Eberflus.
Well, I don't know if we'll do a Super Bowl prediction. Maybe next week. Depends if I'm not busy.
We're gonna do a Super Bowl prediction. We can't do all of this without a Super Bowl prediction.
Well, I'm saying like at the time when to do it next week or some other week down the road. I'll just.
Well, I was gonna say they normally do. Isn't the Super Bowl 2 weeks from?
I think it's 2-3 weeks.
Yeah, 2-3 weeks. They normally do all it. So yeah, we got plenty of time.
Yeah.
So
The Super Bowl is February 13th.
February 13th. That's right. So it'll be a total of 2 weeks.
2 weeks, yeah.
2 weeks.
So yeah, we could delay and wait a week before the Super Bowl happens, but so
I got some time to get on your cousin DJ's nerves, who's a huge Kansas City fan. You know, not granted, the Bears is his first team.
Mhm.
You know, it is. He always texts me all the time. He just like you. He'll text me all the time about the Bears and how they messing up, and I can't believe it. Yeah, same stuff. Just worse language. And but Kansas City, man, that's his squad. So yeah, give me about 2 weeks
Yeah.
to get on his nerves about our predictions. I'll probably tell him something. We both picked the Rams or something, just to mess with him.
But anyways, guys, hit that subscribe button to Cam Free 15 Talk Sports. I'll see if I can come up with other. Again, like I said, now along with the Bears news, I'll also do other breaking NFL news and stuff like that. In terms of NBA stuff, I'm not really going to talk about NBA stuff till after the All-Star break, really.
It's not worth it. It really
Yeah.
isn't worth it. The push for the playoffs don't really start until after the All-Star break anyway. So
Yeah.
yeah.
And then
we being a Clipper fan, we can't put you through that.
Yeah. Oh, hey, the Clippers are 7th seed right now. I just watched the game to get enjoyment. I hope they win. But hey,
they're 7th seed. They're 7th seed, and they're still below 500.
I don't know what the record is right now. I haven't
22 and 23 or something like that. I last saw. So I mean, I'm just like, come on now. It's for me in the West. It's a 2-team race.
Yeah.
2 teams. I mean, Golden State and Phoenix. But this is the football, so we'll get the basketball a little bit later.
Yeah, and then whenever the MLB starts, I'll probably do prediction videos of the MLB. That's if we get out of this apparent lockout we're in. So yeah. But other than that, I'm gonna get out of here. We're gonna get out of here.
Yep.
Anyways, if you guys like the video, leave a like. Anyways, we're gonna get out of here. Hopefully you guys have a great rest of your day and stay safe out there. Till then, guys. Peace.
Peace.